Welcome to the Lying Truth. Today, we have Chris Hayes as he's going to state the clear facts for us, or in this case, the clear manipulation of the facts. This has become propaganda by Chris Hayes. What he believes, he's trying to make the case that there's a loud propaganda arm of the president's supporters who are insistent on pumping people full of misinformation. And I want you to hear exactly how he talks about people who maybe are doubting or don't like the shutdown. Let's see what Chris Hayes has to say about them.
Whatever certain people want to do with the facts themselves, however sociopathically heartless and cruel they want to be, however much they want to admit that they just don't care that much about this devastating, overwhelming loss.
Let me repeat that for you. So what he says is they're sociopathically heartless and cruel. They don't care about the devastatingly overwhelming loss. And why does he say that? Because some people are skeptical of the information that they're pumping out. So let's look at what the information Chris Hayes pumps out in this segment here. His first segment is about Sweden. And because Sweden didn't institute lockdown measures, he's going to demonstrate how bad Sweden is doing. Let's check it out.
Or you can look outside the US and Sweden, where they did not lock down. Schools remain open, and now their death toll is significantly higher than their neighbors. In fact, look at this graph of coronavirus deaths in European countries. That purple line, the one going straight up, yes, that is Sweden.
That is Sweden. See that purple line going straight up? That's Sweden compared to their European neighbors. Well, which European neighbors did he choose? Well, guess what, Chris? We all have access to this graph. This is a great website. Coronavirus disease, okay? And what you can do when you look at this website is you get to pick which countries you put in there. So what I did, I have a list of countries that I put in there. I put some of those same countries in there, but I also added some. I added France and Norway and Poland, okay? You get to check out, you could take out which countries you want from the graph to show the data. You get to choose the data to show, and that's exactly what he does. He chooses what data to show you how bad Sweden is doing. Oh man, Sweden, look at that purple line. It's going straight up. What Chris doesn't do is add in the other countries around Sweden, like Spain and Italy. He doesn't add in the United States. He doesn't add in France. He doesn't add in the United Kingdom. And why not? Because that doesn't sell his story. Sweden was less restrictive than these other countries, and they're doing better in cases per million people. But he wants to lie and tell you, look at Sweden. Sweden's going straight up. Here's the graph from the same website. Oh, Chris, you forgot some of the countries, you sociopath. Talk about manipulation and propaganda. Let's look at another segment that Chris has to say. He's talking about South Dakota. That's a big states have been in the news lately. It's like South Dakota. It's these Republican states because South Dakota is not on lockdown. Let's hear what he has to say about South Dakota.
Example of just maintaining the status quo, a meat processing facility in South Dakota, which kept up production, employees working shoulder to shoulder, day in, day out. It is now the single biggest hotspot of coronavirus cases in the country.
What? The country? South Dakota is now the biggest hotspot of cases in the country? Well, man, there's a problem with that, Chris, and that you could actually look up the data and see that South Dakota has had, 7 total deaths in the country, and that their deaths per million of population in the United States looks like maybe the lowest in the country besides Hawaii and Wyoming. It's the lowest death per population in the country. And this sociopath is telling us it's now the hot spot in the country because a food plant, a meat plant stayed open and they didn't shut the state down. Well, guess what, Chris? Essential businesses would have stayed open anyway, even if they left it open. So once again, the manipulation continues. The manipulation continues from the media. And this isn't saying that the coronavirus isn't serious. It is. But when you have these people on here picking and choosing what data they want to show, picking and choosing the data to show. Remember, when he makes this graph, look at this. He chooses the data to show. And the ignorance they used to claim or pretend when the United States was the epicenter, even though per million they aren't. Per population, we're not the epicenter. They know exactly what they're doing. They're choosing which data to show you to try to sell a story. So sorry, Chris. It's not that other people that don't believe you anymore are heartless and cruel. It's that we're just tired of your bull and we're tired of the lies and manipulation. And for everyone that's been supporting me, I get messages because they want to tell you if you go against the status quo of the media, you're heartless and cruel. You're a sociopath. You don't care about the devastating, overwhelming loss. No, Chris, you're the sociopath. You're the one turning Americans against each other by creating this propaganda that you're not even allowed to look at real data. This is the lying truth. Subscribe and share. Like if you like it. Thank you for the guys that keep supporting me.